on my way to Nelson. Kitty cat. Yeah. Hello, sir.
Hey.
It's quite the hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And now I'm in Nelson. I met these amazing people at this restaurant. The way they describe it's like the rainbow gathering, but every day of their lives. They've invited me to come down to a dance tonight, and I look forward to it. I'm gonna go down to their farm. Fuck, this place is beautiful. And so anyway, they're gonna bring me to their farm, and with a bunch of people they're gonna pick up along the way, and there's gonna be some music. There'll be a feast. You know, it's just gonna be a nice environment, a free environment. Right now I'm looking for this park where there's a bunch of rainbow gatherers. They're supposed to gather up, and I'm hearing some tam-tams in the distance through the woods there somewhere. But I'm excited to meet some more people. Go to Nelson. It's such a beautiful spot. I've never seen anything like this. I never knew we had anything like this in Canada. It's just, or even in the world. Like, this place is so beautiful. Like, people are so friendly here. Like, extremely friendly, so nice. The story now goes, the guy at which I met on the bus to Nelson just yesterday, he mentioned about himself wanting to do some hitchhiking for the first time. And I was like, oh, where are you going? He said, oh, there's a hot spring I want to go to. I was like, hot spring? I was like, yeah. Like, I'll come with you. So here we are. Next day, come around, we packed up and we started hitchhiking. We got picked up by 2 vehicles, and it's about 40 kilometers away from Nelson. And yeah, we're here. I'm eating at the restaurant right now, fill up, and then I'll be able to give you a tour of the spot. It's just the outside there, but there's caves up and over there. But we'll go for a swim. Okay, so here we are. It's a quick tour of the outside. I'm gonna go in there first, in the caves anyway. So that concludes it. Now let's have some fun. Peace. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. This is where I'm gonna live. I love it. I'd trade a house for this.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck, man.
Si jamais vous voulez des bâches, il y en a là, vous pouvez prendre. Il y a des petits morceaux, je pense que c'est pas mal.
The only thing is, I'm not gonna tell you how to get here. Wow, eh? And then there's the path to get out, but that's as far as I'm gonna go. Home sweet home. So here we are on this mountain that we don't know. We took our first attempt to hit the Crystal Caves. I think we went the wrong way. I think we went a lot further than we were supposed to. And now we're the walk of shame. Not really, we had a good time. Now we're hearing a lot of lightning up and around, so that could be cool. Maybe tomorrow I'll set off to try and find the Crystal Caves again. Oh, fuck. Just missed it. There's a train that just went by. It's pretty nice. I guess now it's time to get ready for hike number 2. Basically, we're gonna try and get to the Crystal Caves today. This is gonna be nice.
On our way down from our previous attempts to reach the Crystal Caves, we had found a few locals, and just passing by, I had asked them if they knew about the Crystal Cave. One of them actually had been there before, and he said all you need to do is kind of like go down this road. There'll be a fence, and you have to cross the fence, run down, and there'll be a few establishments, but you have to kind of keep left of this one type of building that he kind of described. And he said you'll find a goat trail, and several waterfalls later you'll find the Crystal Cave. So based off of that information, we pretty much, the next morning when we got there, there was this big fence, and there were multiple, and I mean several security cameras pointing around, and some of them were following us. There was this big fence with barbed wire, and we got informed that if ever you touched the fence, it would signal one of the security guards, and they would have to come and do a patrol. So we didn't touch the fence. We were looking around to see how we could jump it or crawl underneath it or all that kind of stuff. So our solution was, there was these big manholes, and we decided to go underneath and cross it. After we crossed it and we were well into the property, I looked up and I saw this person in this big window on this establishment up on top of this hill, and it was just staring at us. So I yelled, "Run!" And we all just ran into the woods because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh wow, man.
Dude, do any of us have a flashlight?
Oh yeah, I got 2 flashlights, bro. Oh shit.
Oh shit, bro. Dude, if my cousin came, you could actually see in the dark. That would've been awesome. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Found that shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Huh?
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny did. Oh yeah. We're survivors.
This cave had a few tunnels. At the end of the cave, there was a beat down treasure chest. And inside this treasure chest, there was a bunch of random items. It was one of those, take an item and you leave an item. So I ended up staying in Nelson, BC for about, say, 6 days. It was both 3 days in the hostel and then 3 to 4 days out in the woods with no sleep, with no tent. Every morning when I was living out in the woods, I would take a bath in the river and wash my clothes in the river. I think I had 2 pairs of shirts and 1 pair of pants at that point, and like I didn't have much. The reason why I left Nelson, BC, and I didn't want to, is that I had decided that I was going to leave and go home. Although I had made the plans to chase the rainbow and go to the rainbow gathering, I checked my bank account and I think it was $120 at that point and I didn't have much money left in terms of emergency and food. So I was gonna start my journey back. However, there was a person that I was living with in this little tent village out in the woods. They said that there was this bus, this school bus full of hippies that were headed to the rainbow gathering, and they asked me if I wanted to join. So I said yes, of course. And I went to see them, and all I need to do is just give them a little bit of gas money, and that gas money would also help provide food for the entire family within the bus, and we would then take off. So I did just that. So I gave them, I think it was $70. I gave them a big chunk of money, and that would also go towards the fee for crossing the big ferry to Vancouver Island. So on my last day in Nelson, BC, I ended up going to the cafe to charge my GoPro as well as my phone, just before I leave, in case that was the last time I get electricity for a while. And while I was there, I ended up meeting a friend that I hadn't seen in a very long time that I grew up with back home in Nelson. And this is one of the wildest things that's ever happened to me. He was right there. He was tree planting at the time, and he was on his way to Shambhala, and he was just in the neighborhood, and just so happens to meet him in this cafe that I'd never been in before. And yeah, it was Nelson, BC is by far one of the most beautiful places I've ever visited. I recommend anyone to go there. It is an absolute gem. The people, the place, everything is just so inviting. Everything is just so beautiful. Yeah, I highly recommend it. And that is the end of this episode.